You had your chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for MinneZona Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live. We are back, yes. Episode 248. Yes, 248 episodes. And no, we have not been traded by the Minnesota Twins. So, that means that I am your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., etc., etc. And all the way in Granite City Studios in St. Cloud, Minnesota, Paul Vold, Shield. What's going on there, Shield?
You know, contrary to popular belief, believe it or not, that if you trade away 11 plus members of your team, you still have to play out the rest of the season. And I feel like the Twins did not get that memo by trading away basically their whole team. But hey, they took 2 out of 3 against Detroit, so I guess that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. We talked about kind of when all these trades were going on. The floodgates opened probably, well, right as we were doing the show, so that was that and whatnot. So there was a lot happening. There was a lot happening for the Twins ball club, and there's a lot to be said about that tonight, for instance. So, Voldy, before we get into Tater Tot Hot Take, I think we need to do a couple things. One, if you've been on the social medias, and yes, we are still down on Instagram on day, let's see, today's the 6th. It's almost on Friday. It'll be a month since we've had access to our Instagram. So I sent a message. I don't know where the hell everything is at. They've completely just ghosted us. They haven't said why. They haven't told us what we did wrong. Instagram, please. Let us get our account back. We worked very hard on that account, so hopefully we'll get more news on that. But if you've been tuning into the social medias, Voldy, we have Pick'em back! Yeah! Let's go. Pick'em time, baby. We are looking forward to doing that again this year. You guys know the deal. We got the link. If you want to join, message us for the password. Yes, it is a private group, but that means we don't have any randos that pop in and just start. We don't know people's names and things like that. It's a mess. It's not good. So yeah, make sure when you sign up, make sure you have your full name so then you can win prizes. We've got plenty of stuff ready to go. Voldy's got stuff in the works as well as some other things as well. So, yeah, be in tune for that. And, Voldy, you know the deal, man. We've got those pretty fancy, schmancy hats. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Give them a look. Voldy, what do we have for the zoners and or other fans of
Oh, my gosh.
Minnesota
I wish I was more
sport?
prepared than right now. Here we are.
There we go. Go ahead. Show us.
We've got the Hunter Orange hat because it's never too early to get ready for hunting season, followed by that neon yellow, neon green hat right there with MZ Sports Live. We've got our 5th anniversary limited edition because we only got 5 of each of these bad boys right here. Got to get them while they are still good. And still, our final collab with Adidas, MinneZona Sports Live, and Adidas hat right there. And of course, you want to keep things simple and tasteful. We got the Digi Camo. We've got red, white, and blue, the American flag print right there, all available for you.
Awesome.
Let us know what you want. We got them. They are here for you. And we've got more coming in the works here, hopefully in the future. So,
Yes, you guys know the deal. $20, $5 shipping as well. So make sure you get that into us because we got them. Voldy can get you set up with them. The shorts as well, our 5th anniversary shorts are on the way. So make sure that you guys check out check out our socials and we will keep you up to date. But also, Voldy, we have that, and we have the hats. We've got merch and things like that. We'll do all that later on. But tonight, like we just talked about, those Minnesota Twins literally traded 40% of their team. I think that's what the consensus was. I've got some things I got to say. Voldy's got some things he's got to say. We'll go from there. But as you can see, Voldy and I are wearing Vikings stuff tonight because there is a preseason game on Saturday against the Texans. Let's go. It's about time. And not only that, but J.J. McCarthy will make his debut. And, well, actually, his debut was last year against the Raiders. But, you know, this is the first game back since the injury. We are looking forward to seeing how JJ does in this preseason game and all other Vikings as well. So the defense has been lights out. It'll be interesting to see how these guys do here this first preseason game. So we're looking forward to that. As well as... tonight, top 10 infamous list. Voldy, there are a lot of guys that have jumped on the list, jumped off the list, and or moved up the list as well. We'll talk about who has moved, who hasn't, who's off. We will go through that tonight. And then ARA, Voldy's got a stacked set for us tonight. So that's top 10. That is Tater Tot Hot Take. The Lynx make a big trade. Dijonais, Washington from Dallas. Sure. They trade a couple players. This is kind of a big deal from what I hear. This is a big deal. So they had some depth. That'll be good for the Lynx. We'll talk about Teddy B signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, sir, Bob. Congratulations, Teddy B. We'll talk about that. He made some comments about the whole situation regarding him being banned from the school and stuff like that. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. The Browns sign a 5th quarterback. So they've got all the quarterbacks. They're just kind of like, I'll go with this one. Who's going to do this one? Who's going to? It's a mess. So we'll talk about that. And the big news or was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember.
Last night, yeah.
Last night, and big news this morning as well. ESPN to acquire Red Zone from the NFL and some other stuff as well. I've got some thoughts on that, and I'm sure you do as well. And to round things off, college football preseason poll is out. We will discuss who is at the top, and of course, you know the deal. Shield shoutouts. That is tonight as well. Got a plethora of Shield shoutouts, some retirements. And, so, Voldy, enough of us doing all this stuff. Let's get it going. What's up? Tater Tot. Hot take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
Alrighty, it is time for that Tater Tot Hot Take. We start off tonight with those damn Minnesota Twins. Let's just put it like this. Bullpen, completely eradicated. Carlos Correa went bye-bye as well. Yohan Duran, you got Bader leaving, you got Griffin Jacks leaving. There is just too many to go through and so little time, but this is probably one of the most talked about trade deadlines in Twins history, I feel like. In the time I've been alive, at least. Another couple of guys, Harrison Bader, Willie Castro, Chris Paddock, like we talked about last week, Danny Columbe, and Ty France. So, this was a fire sale. That's all we can really say about this. A complete fire sale of the Minnesota Twins. They pretty much have given up on the season, even though they did win today and win the series, like you said at the beginning of the show, Voldy. They removed $75 million from their books in that process. So, this is the definition of the Pohlad way. Voldy, overall, what are your thoughts on all this? I mean, is there some trades that you're looking at and you're scratching your head? Are there some trades that you're like, okay, this makes sense? But I think you said this before the show. These prospects got to hit. I mean, they absolutely positively have to hit. So, Voldy, what are your thoughts here on the trades that the Twins made?
My big surprise out of all this is just the amount of arms that the Twins really just gifted away out of the bullpen. I mean, you lose Duran, Jax, Brock Stewart, Louis Varland as well, with each of them under 2 more years of control. But Varland had another 5 years of club control under his contract, and you get rid of those top 4 arms out of the bullpen themselves, and also throw in the fact that Danny Colomé was also let go. You basically trade away your whole bullpen and on one day, and now you're just supplying the fact that you're throwing in guys from the St. Paul Saints and then whatever you got in return from said trades on top of it. If you wanted to be able to compete, I wanted to say that the bullpen, even through its struggles and its ups and downs, still was giving the Twins a little bit of hope here, even being 6 games under 500 entering today. But of course, now a week passed and removed since the trade deadline. It doesn't overly look good, but I was hoping that they'd at least be able to keep an arm or 2 to at least be competitive down the stretch. Of course, you look at with the big name with Carlos Correa going back to Houston, getting that money off the books, even though they are still going to be paying a good portion of his contract on top of it. It was an experiment that unfortunately did not work, even with him coming back. And it's, unfortunate because of the fact that even with that big name coming to Minnesota, we still end up looking like the fact that Minnesota is not really a destination for big prized free agents. Willie Castro, Harrison Bader, we talked about it on last week's show. Those guys, bats off the bench, positional guys. Willie Castro, a super utility guy, very pivotal off, down the stretch here for teams that are looking to make a playoff push. Ty France, another bat who can also play a little bit of defense. Of course, we saw with Chris Paddock and Randy Dobnak get traded even before the deadline too. Detroit needed some arms. They got arms with that trade on top of it. Now let's just hope that these prospects that they did end up getting, some of them kind of the top end of the systems that they were coming from, could pan out. But as of right now, I don't see it really working out well. It might be a couple of years before we see said prospects come to fruition, if at all, because I mean, baseball is really a crapshoot when it comes to some of these minor league guys coming up. I mean, there's just a lot from all these guys getting traded. I don't see a lot of return out of it. I'm claiming self-sabotage by the Pohlad family to, kind of their, I'm trying to think this in terms of like the show Billions. If you haven't seen that, I think they were tanking the stock so that way they get their money out, sell while the stock is high, and then just tank it from that point, thus creating self-sabotage. I'm not a Billions guy. I'm not a stock market guy, but it feels like, the Pohlads were just trying to burn everything down and maybe try to sell the team on the cheap, I guess.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, comparing that is very spot on, I'd say. For the Correa trade, Voldy and Zoners, I look at it from this perspective. I think, in my heart of hearts, that contract that they gave him, he did not live up to that. And did he have his moments? Sure, of course he did. I thought he was probably one of our better players in the playoffs when they won a series and everything like that. Right. But the guy has not stayed healthy. His defensive skills are good, but he's starting to get up there in age. And I think a lot of that has to do with them trading him the contract and the fact that they were waiting on a shortstop or something like that for him to move to third. Just never happened. And it wasn't meant to be. The ones that surprised me the most, Voldy, was Duran and Varland. From what I hear, Louis Varland was I don't know if they were watching MLB Network and whatnot, but I heard that they were all sitting in the clubhouse and they're watching all this go down, and guys are like thinking to themselves, "Oh, am I going to get a call here? And am I going to get traded?" Things like that. Mm-hmm. Everyone in that room thought that there was no way he was getting traded. Well,
right.
Sure enough, who starts calling him? So, nobody was safe in this instance because, you're literally trade 40% of your team. A lot of that through the bullpen. I mean, your bullpen's completely wiped out at this point. And now you're relying on some young guys to kind of carry the weight. It's quite evident that, they might win a series or two here and there, and, it's doubtful they catch fire and whatnot. But the situation comes down to this, and you put this quite eloquently, is this was a way for the Pohlads to make the team look valuable.
Yeah.
And why I say it like that is because now owners can look at this team and say, okay, I can craft it in the way, in kind of our vision, bring in a GM, bring in a manager that is kind of with what my vision is. So that's kind of how I look at it. And from the perspective of the money and like we see that how much they freed up, which, I think is the right thing to do in this instance. But yeah, it reeks Pohlads big time. I was listening to Aaron Gleeman on KFAN, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was No, it was Monday. It was on Monday. So Gleeman was on, and he was talking about how the Pohlads are sick and tired of their names being dragged through the mud, people bashing them, and anytime that name is brought up, they're getting ripped. Well, they had to think that this day would come. People aren't stupid. And clearly they think that a lot of Twins fans are, especially that whole deal with an anonymous person saying that that golfs with them at Interlochen, saying that they hate the fans, they don't care about the Twins, yada, 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 which is no surprise here. I've been screaming it for years and years and years. And this has come down to them doing what's best for them. Not the Twins, not the fans, for them. That's why the poll ads are the most selfish and the most idiotic ownership group I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not saying what they did wasn't smart. I'm saying that they had that opportunity after the 2023 season. I don't need to go through it that much anymore, but for a year and a half, they sat on their hands, did nothing. They cut payroll. The collapse happened last year, and they did nothing to try and improve that by any means. And this is a mess of their own making. This isn't this isn't the whole deal with Buxton. This is Buxton's fault. This is partially it is Rocco's fault. It is Falvey's fault at a lot of this, but I want to put this into perspective. The poll ads only care about themselves. They don't care about anything else. How bad can we get out of this situation? There is no running from this anymore, because they found ways to, make up, like Jim and whoever else. I don't even know the rest of their names, but Jim Pollad and all these other guys that have just kind of said, money's not an issue, everything's fine, blah, 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 blah. They are selfish human beings. And
the dad, Carl Pollad, is rolling in his grave right now.
Probably.
Just the sabotage.
Probably.
And sorry to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
One thing I look at, too, with this whole situation, they trade away all these guys. You've got a couple of pieces still. You've got Byron Buxton, you've got Pablo Lopez, and then you've got this bevy of young talent, great minor league system. They're making it look as attractive as possible for a prospective buyer to say, hey, you buy this team, you can bring in your own GM, you can bring in your own manager, you can get your own guys. You're not going to be dealing with, contracts that we, the Pollad family, have dumped into this team, dealing with them for another 3-4 years. The team is fresh. You can mold it out of the ball of crap, if you will, to your own bodily shape, if you like. So I can understand from that standpoint of where we're at with the Pollads kind of, dumping as much inventory as possible.
And let me add this too. The Pollads not only own the Twins, they own all this real estate and all these other businesses. And they have had to sell a lot of sell to other people and everything like that, because they're still sitting in debt right now.
$425 million in debt somehow.
Yes.
Somehow.
And we don't know how the hell that happens. Well, let's figure it out. Let's put 2 and 2 together here. 1, they just want more money to pocket for themselves. And 2, it just shows how, greedy these guys are. And it gets to the point where it's like, they could fight off fans for so long. But at the end of the season last year, they got bombarded. They absolutely got, a wave of Twins fans calling them out. And what do they do? It's not good for business. People aren't showing up to the stadium. People aren't, caring about the Twins because they're terrible. And they don't care enough to do that for people. So this is, like I said, this stems down to them. This is their problem. They have completely screwed all of this up. Now, I'm not going to say Baldelli and Falvey are clean of this and everything like that, because A, you still have to manage the team, and B, you can't be making stupid decisions. And I'll talk more about that in top 10 and famous lists, as you guys will see when we reveal our list. I'll go more in depth on that. I won't go too far into it because I've got a lot to say on that too. So just to round things off here, Voldy, the state of the Twins, all they can really do right now is just play the rest of the season, try your best, and go from there. I mean, I will be very curious to see what attendance is like tomorrow when they play Kansas City, because I think, it is still summer, and the State Fair hasn't been going on yet. The Vikings, yes, they do play on Saturday, but once the regular season starts, I mean, the Twins are going to be an afterthought. That's what's going to happen. So, this doesn't shock me or you. Some people are like, I'm shocked they did all this. It's like, this isn't new to any of us anymore. This is what they do. It's only so they can get more money to put in their damn pockets. You know the whole deal with that. So I don't need to go too far into it. But I hear Duran's doing really well with the Phillies. That's good. Correa, I really haven't heard much, and the rest of the guys, I have literally no idea. Griffin Jacks, I will talk about that in top 10 and famous, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, with that being said, the Twins trade deadline, all that stuff, we probably won't be talking a lot of Twins these next few weeks as well. So
Sadly not.
That's unfortunate. But at the same time, there could be news that they finally sell, and we will have a parade. I have Rocco's parade down in downtown Minneapolis because the Poets finally sold the team. Oh God, that would be something. All right, so that'll do it for that one. Our next hot take tonight: those Minnesota Vikings play on Saturday at 3 p.m. Vikings football is back, kind of, sort of. It's preseason, but hey, you know what? Still got the feels of game day. You can watch.
Still real, damn it.
Yeah, no kidding. I agree, Voldy. And, they play the Texans. J.J. McCarthy, like I said at the beginning, will go a couple series, I think. I think that's their plan with him. I don't know if they're going to stick with just one, two, whatever they want to do. Just pray to God he doesn't get hurt. That's all I got. Right. That's all I can really put it. So, they did release the unofficial depth chart as well, which is no surprise and whatnot. And, so, Voldy, what are you looking for here? And I asked this of the zoners as well. Feel free, leave your thoughts on the game coming up here on Saturday. But, Voldy, what are you looking at? Who are you looking at here in this preseason game? I mean, obviously the spotlight is definitely on JJ and whatnot. Yep. But are there any Vikings that you're kind of looking at here in this first preseason game where you're like, I think I'm going to keep an eye on this guy throughout the game? What do you got?
No, I am definitely looking at, of course, the situation, the obvious being J.J. McCarthy right off the bat, how comfortable he is with that first-team offense and at least getting going with whether it be a series, whether it be 2 series, or anything beyond that. I doubt it'll be anything beyond 2 series just because first preseason game, you've got another one, and then most likely will be the end of that. But another thing I'm looking at, too, how is this battle going to work out at the wide receiver position? Because we already know, we'll talk about a little bit more, Jordan Addison going to be out for a few games to start the season. What does that look like for the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 position? Because we already have seen a little bit more of a battle in that wide receiver 3 position. What are we going to be looking at with Fleming, Ty Felton as well, Jalen Naylor, who's going to really be battling out that position for the number 3, because we know that one of those guys is going to have to slide up to the number 2, if not working a little bit more tight end, work off of that with of course, TJ Hawkinson, Nick Vanette just got signed by the Vikings as well. I don't know how much action he'll see right off the bat this week with the game coming up because he got signed on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. But that real battling and positioning at that wide receiver position is definitely something worth noting because of the fact that we're going to be out without one of our big weapons to start off the season. And of course, we know that Jefferson going to be held out. I would imagine not going to be playing the preseason at all with that hamstring. Just get him ready for the start of the regular season. And then on the flip side of things, talk a little bit of defense, even though it is preseason. How is that going to shape up with the defensive line? Battling it out here, of course, so we know that the D tackle position has been a revolving door the last few years. Not a whole lot of familiar names that have stuck around long enough. How do we bolster that and continue to build with, of course, setting up the rush and then, also the secondary on top of it. But really the defensive line is something I'll be looking at too. How do we shape in with, of course, the big guys that do include Jonathan Allen, Hargrave, and even Redmond as well, if he'll be getting some steps there. Some reps early on in the preseason, if beyond a couple of series on top of that. So really the defensive line and then also, the wide receiver positions are what I'm going to be keeping my eye on here with this preseason game coming up.
Very nice. Yeah, like you said, I think the big one is JJ. I mean, everyone's going to have their eyes on him and or listening via the radio as well, who was ever out and about. But, outside of JJ, I think the running backs are going to be interesting. I'm not sure if Jonesy's going to play or not.
Yeah.
Mason, I'm not sure, but I'd like to see Jordan Mason play a little bit. Just because I'm curious to see how he'll do in Vikings colors, how the offensive line, I think, is a big one as well because I doubt Darrisaw is going to play. He's still kind of getting back from his injury. And the line wasn't great these past few practices as well, but there are guys coming back from injury. Will Fries is one of those guys. Donovan Jackson is a rookie. That's the one guy that I am keeping my eye on as well, is Donovan Jackson. Now, we haven't had much success with guards for a long time now.
Yeah.
Ed Ingram just wasn't a fit at all. And actually, I think he's playing on the other side on Saturday. So,
wonderful.
We'll see Ed Ingram back in Minnesota as well. But I think Jackson's had a pretty good camp, and that's what you want to hear. And he is listed as the starter over Blake Brandel, which I think is good, because if it was the other way around, I'd be a little concerned. But I think they need to start off hot, have a good drive, the first two drives, and if they score on their first two drives, that'd be great. But just kind of ease into it, get everyone acclimated. There's no Jefferson. I doubt Jordan Addison's going to play much, or if at all. And like you said, with that wide receiver 2, 3, and whatnot, and Naylor, obviously, but Felton. But, I'm looking at Rondale Moore a little bit. I mean, Rondale Moore had an injury last season, didn't play really at all. Now that he's back, he is listed as our punt returner. So that is going to be interesting as well. And Felton is kick return, which I think is a cool thing too, because usually it's Brandon Powell, or we had Kene Nwangwu. I still kind of scratching my head over Kene, but it is what it is. I don't even know what team he's with now. But so that'll be interesting. Defensively, I got to see some standout corners. One of those being hopefully Mekhi Blackman is looking a lot better. Dwight McGlothern, who I think is a sleeper, man. I mean, he's been balling out at camp. from what I hear. So if he can sneak in there, he's 6'2", very lengthy guy, and he's very physical corner. So I think watching him, I'll be keeping my eye on him as well. The safeties, obviously Harry's probably not playing. There's no way he's playing. Theo Jackson, I could maybe see play for a little bit, but I don't know. That's an interesting one as well. So, our outside linebackers Grenard and Van Ginkel. I mean, Dallas. Maybe Dallas Turner is probably somebody to watch a little bit. I think he'll play. So we'll keep an eye on that too. So that's kind of who I'm looking at, Voldy. But it should be fun. It'll be nice to just kind of have Vikings on there, just kind of seeing. I know you're not going to be given much, but I'm just curious to see, where everybody's at, see what everyone's play style is. It'll be just really cool to see one J.J. McCarthy out under center and with all these new pieces. So, Voldy, we kind of tiptoed around it here, but let's get to it. Jordan Addison, he is officially suspended by the NFL 3 games for his little incident, we'll put it as, with the law. He is officially suspended 3 games. We kind of knew this was coming, but I feel like this it puts the Vikings in a little bit of a pickle, I will say, because Justin Jefferson dealing with the hamstring injury. Hopefully, there hasn't been really much updates on that. I think he's still progressing. He's getting closer, but hopefully he'll be ready by Monday night against the Bears for the regular season game. But that's a factor into it. But comes as no surprise. He pled guilty, the whole deal. But Voldy, would you agree too? I mean, does this kind of seem to you as well like this? It could be interesting. Hopefully Jefferson's good to go by Monday night. What are your thoughts on this whole deal?
Yeah, losing Addison for the first 3 games is going to be a little bit of a kick in the pants there. But when it comes to Jefferson, you really hope that no news is good news in this case. The less you hear about Jefferson and the hamstring, probably for the better, because it just means that he's rehabbing and he's, taking things easy, building things up. And if you hear less of it throughout training camp, maybe he just continues to build up and get ready for, returning to practice at training camp, and then just save it all for the opener on, of course, Monday night to open up the season. That's going to be good. Now, like I said, with Addison being out, it's going to be very interesting to see who decides to make that leap up to that number 2 receiver spot. And if it just so happens that Jefferson can't give it a go week 1 on the opener, then it's going to be a lot of tight ends. It's going to be a lot of run, or at least a lot of screens with Jones, with Trey Mason too, but 2 very capable backs out of the backfield to run with the ball in space. Then you start to get a little bit, a little bit crazy maybe with some of these, receivers that aren't the necessary down the field threats, but get them in space, find them in the right areas. Maybe they could fight for some extra yards on top of it. But I could definitely see if we don't have those 2 guys, at least for the opener, it'll be very interesting. But hoping for the best here with JJ and Jefferson and the hamstring too, especially with a quarterback that needs as much consistency and at least steadiness for him to start his career.
So I was thinking about this before we were going too. Is it possible that the Vikings just bring in a veteran that, could just kind of fill that role? And I mean, if you're down Addison and Jefferson, you got to rely on Felton, you got to rely on Naylor, you got to rely on Rondale Moore.
Right.
I think that too. So, I mean, do you see them going after just kind of a veteran just to kind of fill that need a little bit? What do you think?
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, that's why you also have the spots on the practice squad too. to guys that have been around for maybe a couple of years to at least get them into the field and obviously into the rotation on top of it. But, beyond going out and getting a veteran, maybe somebody that was recently cut or somebody that, hasn't had a team to start the year, it's certainly possible, but I don't see it happening just based off of, the immediate needs, and also thinking, obviously 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, when Jefferson does come back, when Addison comes back too, then you've got, all these guys, and then, well, you probably got to cut somebody else that maybe was rightfully there to start.
Right. And, maybe that's because they're very confident that Jay Jettas is going to come back. So, maybe that. But there is one guy that's out there. And I think you know who I'm going to say. And that is one Adam Thielen, who has worked out with McCarthy, who kind of has a little rapport with him. Just saying. Not saying it's going to happen.
Thought you were going to say Cordero Patterson, too.
Well, he is available as well. I would love that,
Let's get the band back together, man.
I think KOC could craft up a lot of cool plays with him. Him and Wes Phillips, and the offense with McCarthy and CP. Oh, that'll be pretty cool. So, we'll keep that in mind. You guys let us know, too. I mean, enjoy the game on Saturday. Let us know what you guys think, too. So that'll do it for Tater Tot Hot Take this week. Voldy, the top 10 infamous lists are ready to roll. We have made some changes, taking guys off, putting guys on, things like that. Zoners, feel free to chime in as well on who you think should be on the list and what you think of our list in general. So let's get it going with a top 10 infamous list.
Here's the list no one wants to be on. Infamous Top 10.
All right, it is the top 10 infamous list. Voldy, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to start off, and then I will pass up the rock to you. And here is the big reveal. Wait. We got to do this the right way. Voldy.
Okay.
You know the deal. Here we go. Bow! There it is. I'll bring it up a little bigger just because, you got to see our faces as well. But this is our list, as you can see. Some changes. There's been some changes for both of us. There's a lot to talk about with a couple of the new ones as well. So I will keep short on some of these, but let's talk about it. So let's go with mine. Safe to say, guys, that there's been some changes. I mean, there's going to be some changes, as you can see. At number 10, I have ESPN front office expert Mike Tannenbaum. Mike Tannenbaum. There has been a lot of absurd statements that have been uttered from Mike Tannenbaum. A couple of those being this unhealthy obsession with Jordan Love. He is literally obsessed with Jordan Love. Jordan Love, so far in his career, has been not good, not great, but he's had a couple good games. But he also, he was injured early part of the season. The Packers were just, they couldn't keep up. He didn't play well against the Eagles. He didn't play well against the Vikings because guess what? The Vikings swept them. I don't know why he has this unhealthy obsession with Jordan Love, but this guy continues to make these ludicrous statements, and literally, and even the talking heads there at ESPN, like Stephen A. and a lot of these other guys, Bart Scott, I think, too, that are like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? He has proven nothing. And you have him above, like, a Mahomes, a Allen, and, all these other players. Like, what has he done? He's won one playoff game. And you're taking him to be, oh, he's going to be so good. And Jordan Love's just got everything. Just relax, bro. He is not that good. He isn't. And he just has this unhealthy obsession with this dude. It's like, oh, my God, you need to use logic here. If we're doing Callahan School of Logic, it'd be one thing. But then the other statement that he made is that he thinks that the piece of crap Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos are going to the Super Bowl. He thinks they're going to the Super Bowl. Are you freaking kidding me? That defense, yeah, it's very good. Don't get me wrong. They don't have a running back. I mean, they have no running back. Their wide receivers are mediocre at best. And you think that's a Super Bowl team? Oh my God. Well, you got to get by the Chiefs. You got to get by the Chargers. You got to get by the Bills. You got to get by the Patriots. You got to get by all these other teams. And you're saying something along those lines. Mike Tannenbaum, again, I'm going to say it. He was a failed front office executive in the NFL. Why is he on ESPN making these claims? Why would anyone look at him and be like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. He's had experience in the NFL. This dude is saying Jordan Love is like the best player ever. He has this unhealthy obsession. So he's at number 10 because he's just saying it just to get clicks, clickbait, things like that. The guy's nuts. Just nuts. All right, number 9, Deshaun Watson. Really haven't heard much about him. I guess he's he had a setback in his injury like we talked about last week, Voldy. Just doing God knows what. We don't know. Number 8, Urbanmeyer. Don't really know what's happening with him. He's probably with Fox again. Don't even know why he's on the airwaves, to be honest with you. Number 7, Sean Payton. Really haven't heard too many absurd things from him lately, but he's still on this list. He's still a piece of crap. The whole kit and caboodle. All right, guys, here's the big one. As you can see, and I think I've had him on before, I can't remember if I did or not, but Roccobaldelli. I didn't really want to do this because, I want to say it like this. Rocco is a good human being. I really do believe that. I just think that he is not a good manager. Was he a good player at the time? Sure. Do I have any personal beef against him? Not really. But he is on this list because there was another incident, Voldy. Before all the trades happened, before, chaos ensued. He and Griffin Jacks had a little spat in the dugout after the Twins were getting their asses kicked 13-1 against your Boston Red Sox. And and guess what Rocco did? He does all the freaking time. Take guys out way too early. That's what he did with Griffin Jacks. Griffin Jacks was having an argument with him, and they were going back and forth and whatnot. And reports are, too, that after the game, all the reporters and whoever else were sitting outside the clubhouse, and there were voices that were pretty loud. And that was coming from Roccobaldelli's office between Rocco and Griffin Jacks. And I think after that spat, even though they say, oh, no, it wasn't, it had anything to do with the trades and whatnot. Yeah, okay. He basically said, F you, I'm done, trade me. Because he probably heard about Correa getting traded and Durant. So, he didn't want to be here for a team that's not going to do anything. So, now, he goes, and you've completely lost the clubhouse. These guys are wondering, oh, am I next? I mean, am I part of the future plans? Like, what's going on here? Everyone's leaving. They're just and the players have lost faith in the organization. And yes, it stems from the poll ads. But you know what, Rocco? You got to be a leader here. Instead of making these stupid-ass decisions that you make, how about you try something a little bit different? Keep them in. What do you got to lose? No, you got to do it the way that Rocco does it. Rocco knows best. Blah, 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 blah. Correct me if I'm wrong. But who was the guy that said, I want a... You know what? He said this. I want a fucking parade. That's what he said. He wants a parade in Minnesota. But guess what? The only parade that's going to be happening in Minnesota this year is when the poll ads sell the team and when you and Falvey are off the team as well, my friend. Yeah. Remember, PG-13 with the stash of the R in there as well. This has come down to bad management, bad administration, bad everything. Front office, the whole kit and caboodle. This man said he wanted an effing parade before the season. And they sold all of their players. They got rid of all of their players. They're getting rid of everybody. And he gets in a spat with his pitchers for taking him out. So, I don't care what you guys think. It's like, well, we already signed him to an extension. It's fine, guys. Like, you know, who's going to want to have this dumpster fire of the team? Anybody other than him. Anybody. You can bring up Gardy's kid. It's fine. Bring up Gardy's kid. Bring up the bench coach who's been sitting there. I don't care. Anybody other than Roccobaldelli. Anybody. But yeah, I know it's going to be tough because who's coming in? Who can you trust? Who's the ownership going to be? Anybody but Roccobaldelli. Rocco needs to go. Okay. Number 5. I have Jerry Jones. Boy, Jerry has really pissed off the Cowboys fan base right now. Micah Parsons wants out. He's making all these deals that are just ludicrously insane and whatnot. And he is so stubborn. He's a stubborn old mule. And he will not let up control of the team. He has done a horrendous job as GM these past few years. He has done terrible. And the fact that they're not willing to give a guy the talent that Micah Parsons has. Yes, you know, I understand the whole podcast thing. He should really he speaks his mind and everything like that. But honestly, it's annoying, don't get me wrong. But the dude's amazing. He's so good. Great off the edge. He can play linebacker as well. I mean, he's fast as hell. And they won't resign the guy that's literally been keeping your defense afloat. And Jerry's like, well, I don't want to give that much money, and you know, I don't want to give up ownership of the team, and I still want to be GM. It's like, you are clueless, my friend. You are clueless. Someone needs to take him off of the Cowboys. But you know what? I say, keep him on there. He keeps screwing it up. Let him keep screwing it up more. So, all right, number 4, JordanHudson. I really haven't heard much Voldy outside of that whole thing. I think it was still pretty fresh last time we did top 10 infamous list with her. Number 3, angelreese. Apparently, she makes $1,400 an hour, and that's all you make. That's all we make in a week. That's just very disingenuous and very. I think that's a very mean thing to say too, especially people that are hardworking and trying to make ends meet. So she should be ashamed of herself for that comment. Number 2, Draymondgreen. Well, haven't really heard much, so that's good news, but he's still just a jackass. So, number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he is up there. There's not really much to add. It's all about him. It'll always be about Aaron Rodgers. I heard something today that somebody said that that Aaron Rodgers right now looks like the Super Bowl version of him back when he was at Green Bay. So that is up for absurd statement. I will have to look that up again to see who said that, because this might be a train wreck as well. So just saying. But we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's my list. Again, you guys know the deal. This is a PG-13 show, but we can drop an F-bomb. It's true. That's how the ratings work. And yes, I dropped an F-bomb with Roccobaldelli. That's okay, because he deserves it. So, all right, Voldy, give us your...
All right, so we are going to start off here with, of course, at the number 10 spot, all those Shedeur slanderers. That's right, because of the fact of him dropping all the way down from the draft into the 5th round to get picked up by the Browns. Now he's starting the preseason opener over the bevy of quarterbacks that they've got in there, and I would just love to see when he absolutely lights it up and tears it up, willing enough to warrant a bona fide roster spot, if not at the backup position for the Cleveland Browns at the number 10 spot. Then we move up to sports streaming services. It was YouTube TV, but now we're getting further and further into everything. Now we're looking at even more streaming services coming the way. Of course, we'll talk more about it with ESPN and acquiring the Red Zone package, all of that too. But now we're getting to the point where there is going to be no easy way to watch sports ever again. You can have your YouTube TV. You can watch the basic channels like TNT, TBS, Fox. There's going to be no ESPN. There's going to be no baseball on ESPN in the coming future. But it's getting harder and harder to even find where a game is going to be just beyond the regular streaming services. And it continues to just draw my mind. Urban Meyer's at the number 8 spot. Nothing really there on top of it. The Tampa Bay Rays at number 7. Yet again, still there, even though they picked up a few guys. They got rid of a few guys at the trade deadline. Griffin Jax is a Tampa Bay Ray, so now I have to hate him out of pure instinct with that. Playing in an opponent's minor league spring training facility for the season just because they couldn't find another field suitable to play at this season, and possibly even going into next season is pitiful to say the least for the Tampa Bay Rays. And who knows, 2 or 3 years they'll be playing in the World Series. It's just completely dumbfounding how that organization still exists to this day. Now we get a new addition to the lineup, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or just SGA for short. The free throw merchant himself finds his way onto my top 10 because of the fact that he went out, put up ridiculous numbers, still had to battle his way through the Western Conference, MVP, gets the NBA championship, and yet still finds himself in the middle of said controversy because he continues to flop and just dig at for calls so that way he can go 19 for 22 at the free throw line in a 4-quarter contest. Seems a little bit desperate for a guy who's seeking for attention. Now, this might be a little bit of a surprise at the number 5 spot. After my comments last week about robmanfred and him getting himself into my good graces with him going nose to nose with Bryce Harper, then a little thing called the MLB Speedway Classic happened over the weekend. I was looking forward to watching this game, and then just Mother Nature, the gods of baseball that be, absolutely opened up the heavens and took one big old piss on it because of all the rain that they had, inadequate facilities on top of it. They ran out of nacho cheese and hot dog buns at Bristol Motor Speedway, and fans still had to pay full price for the food on top of it. They ran out of buns and nacho cheese. Rob Manfred, what the hell are we doing? And then they postponed the game from Saturday to Sunday, and yet the Braves win the game, and they actually get a trophy. For a team that's 20 plus games under 500, they got a trophy in the latter third of the season. What are we doing, Robman?
And that's impossible!
It's ridiculous, to say the least. We move up to the number 4 spot. Florida Panthers, yes, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Matthew Tkachuk is a complete rat. I hate his face, and I hate everything that is the Florida Panthers. National sports media, we know the story. Tale as old as time with the straight hatred of Minnesota professional sports, not giving them their just cause or celebration in that matter. Number 2 spot with Jordonhudson, single-handedly going to sink the legacy and everything great about Bill Belichick, and making it about her is going to be the downfall of the University of North Carolina Tar Heel football program for the 2025 season. Let's hope sleeping dogs do lie, and that dog will stay home. Woof to Jordonhudson. And finally, we finish things off with the Big Ten Conference. Big Ten, 18 teams, yet still called the Big Ten Conference. Of course, the additions going from coast to coast with the West Coast teams, and you throw in Oregon, you throw in USC, UCLA, Washington on top of it too. Then you go to the other side of the coast. You've got Rutgers, you've got Maryland. They've been in the conference for a couple of years, but still completely and utterly ridiculous that they are Big Ten teams. Now we throw in the fact that Big Ten media days for the football program being moved from Indianapolis and actually is taking place in Las Vegas this year. Asking for trouble is all I have to say on that, because that is not going to be good for anybody that comes from the Midwest to go to Las Vegas, especially this time of year. It's going to get pretty dicey pretty quick, given the fact that at least in Indianapolis, you are somewhat sheltered, not a lot to do, that you can get yourself in trouble. Then you throw into, of course, you get to Las Vegas and all bets are off. The Big Ten Conference, still, I will say this to the day that I die, is just a mid-major conference with $1 billion budget. If it wasn't for Ohio State and maybe Michigan, you could throw those teams in there. Nobody would really be paying attention. But hey, at least the 2 last national champions in football have been from the Big Ten Conference. And that will do it for my top 10 and famous list.
Yes, well done, Voldy. The SGA one is quite apparent. We have talked about that one tirelessly, for sure.
Yep.
As well as Jordonhudson, that whole deal, Manfred, the whole kit and caboodle. So, yeah, that's our list. Let us know if you guys agree, disagree, or if you're like, I think it looks good. If it looks good, then sweet. So, yeah, we'll have more on these infamous people and whatnot. And, just to quote Shield back in 2015, 2016, I think, when we recorded this, or maybe it was earlier, 2014, 2015, if I'm guessing. But it kind of goes a little something like this.
He had his chance, and he blew it.
That's right. He, she, everyone, all of them. I mean, it's just they had their chances and they blew it. They really did. So, all right, that'll do it for top 10 and famous list this go around. We'll post it here as well on our socials medias. Still waiting on Instagram. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that at a different time. All right, Voldy, ARA, we've got a great set tonight. Lynx, land, Dijonais, Washington from Dallas. So another piece to those Minnesota Lynx. We'll have to ask Zappa here at some point what he thinks as well. And/or Munson, and/or Rattel. But Teddy B, you know the deal. Yes, he is signing with those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Matty C from 2014, 2015, hit me.
Teddy B, dip them dots.
Dots! Yes, sir, Teddy B back in the NFL. I love it. And then the Browns sign a 5th QB. It looks like they already named their starter for their preseason game. Talk more about that as well. And ESPN acquiring NFL Red Zone from the NFL and some other entities as well. We will discuss that at length as well. And to round things off, the college football preseason poll, it's up. It's ready to roll. We'll analyze it and give you our thoughts. So without further ado, let's get it going. What's up? Absurd or approved?
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it is time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
Oh, we start off in the WNBA, where the league-leading Minnesotalynx made a move before the prognosis of Nafisa Collier did come out, as she will be out for at least the next 2 weeks with her ankle troubles. The Lynx did acquire from the Dallas Wings Dijonaicarrington, who was last year's most improved player out of the league, in exchange for former number 2 overall pick Diamond Miller and guard Carly Samuelson, as well as a second-round draft pick for the 2022 draft. Now, this coming in with Carrington averaging just over 10 points, 5 rebounds a game, who joined Dallas back in February as part of a trade from the Connecticut Sun, was also a first-team all-defensive player in 2024 to go along with her most improved honor. Now, this certainly does feel like a win for the Lynx, given the fact that the other 2 players that have been named in this trade have not lived up to expectations. But is it absurd or approved with the addition of Dijonaicarrington that this will bolster the Lynx in the absence of Collier for the next at least 2 weeks looking down the stretch?
Well, I mean, I'll just go as far to say as yes, because, I mean, look, they're adding depth. Diamond Miller, who Zappa thought was going to be pretty good, it didn't seem like it fit the mold for her to be here in Minnesota, and Cheryl obviously knows what she's doing, Cheryl Reeve, that being. Yeah, I think she's going to need to, kind of shoulder some of the load, but not all of it, because you still have Williams, you still got McBride, you still have Alana Smith. They're pretty well set with depth, and adding more to that, and they'll win games, with this group for sure. I mean, this isn't a situation where it's like, oh, we're without Nafisa Collier. No, actually, even when she got hurt and went out, they still destroyed Vegas by what, 50? I mean, good Lord. They're well coached. They're out for blood, literally, I think, from last year, and I appreciate that and whatnot, because, you got to get back to where you lost it, and you felt like you should have won, and whatnot, and they have the league's best record, so that's good. But Carrington I like, because I was trying to think of the team, because I don't remember her being on the Wings, and then when you said that she was coming from the Connecticut Sun, I was like, that's where I remember. That's where I remember her from. So this is a great get. I think, the Lynx really did a great job in making this trade. And they gave up, was it just the second-round pick, I think you said, Voldy? Just one? So,
yes.
Yeah, I think it's a great deal. It's got my stamp of approval. I think she's going to step up. She's going to be contributing right away. And, this was a good trade for the Lynx. It's looking good. So, stamp of approval. Voldy, what do you got?
Yeah, I definitely like this move, given the fact that the Lynx going for that defensive-minded approach here, especially the way that, what's her name? Is it Courtney Smith? I know Alana Smith, Courtney Williams, or something. One of the two there has just been, has just been lighting it up here defensively for the Lynx this season. Now you throw Carrington into the mix there. Can throw in some points here and there if she can at least put up double-digit points here in the stretch, given her time with the Lynx. I think that'll definitely be an added bonus. Now, you really hope on the other side that Diamond Miller and Carly Samuelson dealing with injury after getting foot surgery, and just hopefully a fresh start for Diamond Miller too, after being a top pick in 20 I should say number 2 overall pick a couple of years ago. it's hopefully something that she can look back on and at least get a fresh start there. But I definitely like it, given the fact that the Lynx are 24-5 entering this season so far. Really strong performances as of late, and even in some big matchups, they've gotten to the point where they came back from a huge deficit the other night against Seattle, or at least made a serious run at it out west. And then you throw in, of course, the rematch they had with the Liberty, and really, put their nose to the grindstone there. Took a little bit of defensive approach to it while also getting out to a big lead. Really going to be good here, and hopefully that Carrington can slide into that team and make some plays here as the season gets very interesting from here on
out. 25-5, Voldy. So that's pretty good. That's awesome. They are 15-1 at home, 10-4 away. They've won 8 of 8 games. Out of the last 10, they won 8 out of 2. So
there you go.
They're okay. They're doing just fine. It's all good. Yep. It's looking pretty good. So, all right, next one, Voldy.
Well, we head to the world of the NFL, and Teddy Two Gloves is back in the league after, of course, a brief stint as a backup for the Detroit Lions after coming back as serving out of retirement, of course, with Jared Goff as his backup in Detroit, previously as also serving as head coach for his alma mater at Miami Northwestern High School. Well, Teddy is back for the season as a signee to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The now quarterback at 32 years old, getting back into camp after a brief post-retirement career as a head coach. Of course, we've seen the comments and controversy that has come out of his coaching tenure after winning a state championship. But now Teddy into the mix there with a pretty wide open number 2 battle at the backup spot behind Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. So is it absurd or proof? Will we see Teddy in game action regular season this year?
Oh, you know my dog Teddy B is going to be playing. What do you mean? He's going to be kicking ass, taking names. You know the deal. I think, I hope that he does. And to be honest with you, with that whole situation that went down, I listened to a snippet. I can't remember when this happened, if it was today or yesterday, how he explained that situation. And he was just saying, I was just there for the kids. I mean, I treated them like my sons and everything like that. And I'm just like, how can you sit there and say, oh, he's just doing it for just so he can get, this team to dominate year in and year out? I don't know what you guys are looking into, or if you know something that we don't, but I think that's pretty genuine and whatnot. And we talked about it at length, but I hope so. I think he will. The Bucs are very good. I mean, their offense, they're a sneaky team, man. They've got a good offense. Bucky Irving's supposed to be pretty good this year as well. They've got Mike Evans. I mean, he's timeless, man. He's still putting up 1,000-yard seasons, getting a bunch of touchdowns. Chris Godwin as well. They added that one wide receiver. I forget his name, but apparently the rookie's supposed to be really good. And Baker, shouts out to Baker, man. I've been very critical of Baker Mayfield and everything, but he's looking really good with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think it's really clicking for him. So good for him and whatnot. But, I think if the Bucs get up big, I think Teddy will play a little bit. And apparently Mayfield was dealing with an injury, hence why they went and signed Teddy, and Kyle Trask really hasn't had that much experience starting and stuff like that, and so hence why they went out to go get one Dr. Dippin' Dots, that being Teddy B. So, I think I'm going to give him my stamp of approval. I think he might get a little garbage time and whatnot. God forbid anything happens to Baker Mayfield, because he's been really good and whatnot. But I think Teddy will play a little bit. maybe, you never know. You never know what might happen. So, yeah, stamp of approval. So, Foldy, what do you got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be more of a situation because right now that backup spot is a little bit open because of the fact with what they have is Kyle Trask, who's been there since the Tom Brady era, has really played at all. Second round pick 4 years ago. Then they brought in another guy, Connor Bazelak, I think is Bazelak, I believe his name is. And then you have Teddy Bridgewater. Well, I'd take Teddy over all three of those guys, even with the amount of change and turnover that has been with the offensive coordinator position or even just offensive coaches, even in the time of Kyle Trask since he's been there. I mean, you've got the offensive coordinator and Josh Grizzard, who's been, who previously coached with Teddy down in Miami. I mean, you've got Charlie Strong, who was Teddy's, head coach at Louisville. And let's also throw in that Levante David and Teddy Bridgewater were teammates back in high school at Miami Northwestern. So things are looking in the right direction. Now let's just see if it's going to take him long to get accustomed to the playbook, getting, of course, back into that game shape as well. Of course, him being in Tampa, not going to be too much of a stretch for him, given the fact that he is a South Florida boy too, and see how much action he gets in the preseason, if a lot, if not at all. Let's hope that he can at least continue to have a roster spot. I could see him make the team for sure, and, hopefully he does get a little bit of action, and, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him get on the field for sure. It's got my stamp of approval as well.
One thing left to be said about this, and we'll move on, but, I just think that he's proven that he can still, play at a decent level and whatnot. And I think you might be hearing this a lot.
Teddy B, dip them dots.
Damn right. So we'll see what happens, but I'm happy for him. I really am happy for Teddy B. So good for him being with the Bucs. All right, next one. Voldy.
Well, we stay in the world of the NFL, and you get a quarterback. You get a quarterback. Everybody in Cleveland gets a quarterback. That's right. The Cleveland Browns have signed another quarterback to their team, even with the number of players that they have nursing injuries coming into, of course, their preseason opener coming up here this weekend. We have confirmed that it is sheduersanders who will be starting for the Cleveland Browns for the preseason opener, but the Browns did sign quarterback Tylerhuntley on Tuesday, now making it 5. Count them up, 5 quarterbacks on the roster this far into training camp. But it is a bit of a misnomer as well. They've got a couple guys that have been held out with some general soreness as well, but just giving plenty of options given the fact that they are having joint practices with Carolina ahead of their preseason opener coming up on Friday. Kenny Pickett is still dealing with a hamstring just a couple weeks ago. Dylan Gabriel, that is, a rookie draft pick out of the 3rd round out of Oregon, also had hamstring tightness. Sheduersanders was held out of team drills on Saturday with general arm soreness, but was back to full action on Monday. Joe Flacco probably hasn't even touched a ball this preseason or this training camp so far, just getting him ready for the start of the season. Now let's throw in Tylerhuntley on top of all of it in the mix. Now, is it absurd or approved with Tylerhuntley getting into the throes, pun intended, of the Browns quarterback controversy conundrum that is that locker room? Is it absurd or approved? Will Tylerhuntley jump ahead of anyone at camp to warrant maybe a further roster spot?
Oh, man. I've never seen so many freaking quarterbacks signed by the Browns. They're just like, let's just sign everybody. One of them's got to work, like we said last time. And do we have a new general soreness now? Shedeur the new general soreness?
Yep.
like Jimmy Butler. No. Anyway, Snoop Huntley, he's had some, starts. I think he was last in Miami, and that didn't really turn out well. Even when he had to go in when Tua got hurt, and good Lord, one isn't Tua hurt. The thing is I feel like he's kind of regressed a little bit. So I don't know if he's beaten any one of those guys right now. I think Dylan Gabriel's doing fine. Shedeur, it sounds like. I mean, if they're starting Shedeur on, is it Saturday or is it Friday or whenever it is?
Playing Friday.
Friday, okay. So on Friday, since Shedeur's playing and whatnot, maybe he's leading, maybe he's not. I don't know. This is all weird to me. But, I mean, Flacco, like you said, it's probably going to be Flacco. But I also know, too, that there's a lot of guys you got to jump up to. Now, Kenny Pickett is kind of in that, recovery stage and whatnot. We don't know what's going to happen there. But I don't think he's going to. I think he's probably going to be released at some point, and then someone's going to pick him up. Or they trade one of those guys, and maybe he does move up. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think he's kind of regressed, I feel, a little bit. He did okay when he was with the Ravens, when Lamar went down for a game or two. But, I just...
Got himself to the Pro Bowl.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Like a 19th replacement, but hey, still a Pro Bowl. He could put that
on
his head
Exactly. So, I'm going to say absurd. Yeah, I don't think he's jumping anybody. So, Voldy, what do you think?
No, this is just strictly about having bodies on the field. And, of course, you do have Pickett, who hasn't, practiced fully in a couple of weeks. So that's something worth noting. Joe Flacco is going to be practicing and probably not going to be saying or doing much of anything. Now you got Dylan Gabriel, who's a little bit tender on the hamstring. If he can't be a full go with the preseason opener, you need guys, because you're going to need at least 2 or 3 quarterbacks at least to start off. I would imagine they'd probably go at least 2 quarterbacks for the preseason opener, if not 3. Give a quarter and some change to everybody, and just to see how everything pans out. I would not be surprised to see him stick around for another week or so, but I don't think he's going to be jumping over anybody, given the fact, of course, you drafted 2 guys this year. You've got Kenny Pickett, who you traded for, and you got Joe Flacco, who's going to be your starter. 3 of those 4 guys are going to be on the roster come opening week. Beyond that, I don't see Huntley jumping over anybody. It's just strictly about bodies at this point.
Couldn't agree more. This quarterback conundrum is going to last for a little bit longer, so we will figure out how this all turns out in Cleveland. All right, next one, Voldy.
All right, so this is going into the world of the NFL, I guess, but ESPN is acquiring the NFL Network and other NFL media assets, including the linear rights to the league's popular Red Zone channel, in a deal that will see the NFL get a 10% equity stake in the All Sports Network. So the NFL is actually getting a stake as well in ESPN. That will also include ESPN acquiring the NFL's fantasy product and merge it into the existing platform, making ESPN Fantasy Football the official game of the NFL. Well, one of the big things that will include is, of course, the Red Zone package. Very popular with all those on Sunday who want to start off bright and early, right at kickoff, and just watch all the way up until the late afternoon slot of continuous, non-stop action, or whoever is that host there for the Red Zone. Matt, you probably know his name. I keep saying
Scott Hansen.
Scott Hansen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I knew it was Hansen. Chris Hansen is To Catch a Predator. Please, have a seat. But is it absurd or proof with ESPN acquiring the Red Zone from the NFL? Will Red Zone be worse than its previous iterations from the NFL Network and DirecTV? Because we've seen ESPN screw up a few things over the last few years. Will ESPN find a way to F up this wet dream that is the Red Zone channel? They gotta have Scott Hansen. That's the big. That's got to be the big key right there. Is it going to be? Is it going to be worse than what we've seen in the past?
why do good things have to be why does ESPN have to grab everything? I mean, it's one of those things where it all comes down to money, but I think it's the mouse, and what I mean by that is it's Disney, and Disney has gotten their grubby hands on ESPN, Hulu, Disney Plus, Marvel. For that fact, I got beef with them too on some things regarding that, but that's for another day. Them acquiring the NFL Network, I think, is not good. To be honest, they have effed up a lot of good things. NFL Network has been one of the many things that I've enjoyed watching. Good Morning Football has been great. Jamie Erdahl, before that, Kay Adams, our guy, friend of the show, Nate Burleson, P. Shrags, Kyle Brandt. The OGs as well. But now that ESPN's taken over, I got a feeling this is going to turn into First Take 2.0 or something like that. And that is not what I want to have happen, because Jamie does a fantastic job. Schrager's now with ESPN, but maybe he would be involved. I don't know. But I wouldn't change a damn thing about Good Morning Football. And if they do, someone's going through a table saw, as Coach Hines used to say. So I think it will be. Now, if they're going to piss off a bunch of football fans, I mean, it's not just me. It's a bunch of people. If you do anything with Scott Hansen, if you let him go, if you do whatever, you are going to get, everybody, whoever made that decision is going through a table saw. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is asinine if you don't have Scott Hansen. Now, basically, like people have said, let them cook. Let those guys cook. They do a great job. Rich Eisen and those guys, game day and everything like that. Don't screw up a good thing. Don't. We don't want anything to go to waste, but I got a feeling, Voldy, that that's what's going to be the case. Now, not only that, with ESPN acquiring NFL Network, now, guess what? WWE and ESPN, they're going to have PLEs, a.k.a. Premium Live Events, now with ESPN. But you know what, you know what's interesting about it, Voldy?
What's that?
You got to pay $30 to watch any of that. How the hell are we going to watch Tiffy Time on the Premium Live Events?
They were on Peacock to start.
True.
It
was only
one from the other.
You can have a free account. You have a free account. You can watch it. You don't have to pay a single dime. No, you gotta pay. You gotta pay $30 to watch a pay-per-view.
Why?
How are you gonna watch Tiffy Time? How are you gonna watch our tribal chief Roman Reigns? How are you gonna watch Cody Rhodes? Oh my God! It's just they're ruining everything that's good. Everything that's good in this world. So yeah, I think it's absurd. I think they're gonna make it, or is it technically? Would we say approved in this sense? I would assume. Will Red Zone be where it's approved? Yes. Yeah, stamp of approval. Yeah, it is going to be. It's a train wreck, absolute train wreck that this is happening, and it's just. I'm not paying $30 to watch some. Yep. I mean, no way. Absolutely not. I will look on Twitter. I will, there are other ways to get it as well. But
exactly.
I don't, you won't hear anything from me. Mm-hmm. So, it's got my stamp of approval. I think it will be, and it's sad. It's really sad. So, Voldy, what do you think?
Well, can confirm, according to Scott Hansen's official Twitter, he is still the host of Red Zone. So we got that. We're good. Still going to be hosting Red Zone. Be working for the big machine, the four-letter company of ESPN. Apparently, Rich Eisen and his show is also moving to ESPN. Saw that last couple of weeks. They've been talking about that. So he's now
It's
a
not
member.
bad.
He's going to be a member of ESPN yet again. But why does ESPN, the Walt Disney Company, have to continue to own everything? Pretty soon, we're going to be owned by Walt Disney, and the many subsidiaries that fall under the Walt Disney Company on top.
Better be a
Wouldn't
big check.
Bad. It would be a big check. I certainly wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, what kind of weird Illuminati type stuff are they going to get us into with their acquisition of our intellectual properties too? Is it going to be worse? I don't know necessarily, because I know NFL Network did really good trying to keep it as seamless from DirecTV into the NFL Network, and I would certainly hope with reading a little bit more up on this that NFL is still going to be producing it. It's still going to be the same people putting it. It's just all going to be aired on ESPN, apparently, or through the ESPN, through all their streaming direct-to-consumer platforms, as opposed to going through the NFL. And it's, obviously all their connections. So it's still going to be the same people, apparently. So I don't think it'll be worse. I just don't know why this continues to be a thing of everybody just buying up each other to the point where there's going to be nothing left. I mean, we're going to get to a point here, and a few people have talked about this. Remember back before cable was such a huge thing, and you had maybe 4 or 5 channels to watch whatever you wanted, and you have to, get up, change the knob on the TV. Matt, I don't know if you remember that or not.
Oh, yeah,
I certainly
do.
remember it.
Yeah.
We could get to the point where there's only going to be 2 or 3, maybe 4 platforms to watch anything, and you got to get up.
Yeah.
And you got to change it that way. I mean, we could be looking at, we're going back to square one at that point. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that is. Is it absurd or approved? I'm going to say I think it's approved. I think it'll be different. There'll be a lot of growing pains and a lot of things to try to make sense out of it all. But yeah, it just doesn't rub me the right way. Why does ESPN have to own everything?
Disney
Why?
in general, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Disney. Yeah, why do they got to?
They own
own
Fox now. Apparently, they know. I mean,
Yeah.
they honestly, my gauntlet's over there, but they have like all the Infinity Stones plus more. I mean, it's insane to me. But
Yeah.
there's been some good, but there's been a lot of bad. And don't mess with Red Zone. Do not mess with Red Zone. That I am glued to that every Sunday. And Papa Callahan is as well. Do not take that from us.
Seriously.
So, all right, we'll see what happens. I don't know. All right, last one. Voldy.
We head to the world of college football, where the coaches have weighed in who should start where at the college football season, with the preseason top 25 as it was unveiled on Monday. At the top 28 first place votes among those college football coaches, Texas will reign supreme in the preseason poll, followed by Ohio State at 2, Penn State at number 3, Georgia at 4, Notre Dame at number 5. And that also takes place at number 6 with Clemson, who got 2 first place votes, believe it or not, rounding off there from the top 5, and just missing out on the top 5 was Clemson. With that whole makeup with the top 25 coaches poll, of course, the top 10 does include, of course, number 6 in Clemson, followed by Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and then Miami. Very interesting to see that top 10, but more specifically with the top 5, very interesting how that all really played out from the end of last season going into this year, too. Of course, Texas at the top spot with the thus taking over of the Arch Manning era in Texas. Is it absurd or approved? Should the top 5 should not be any different from the way the coaches voted, with the top 5 of Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, and Notre Dame.
Ooh, that's a great question, Boldy, because one team that I feel like has a chance, but I don't know, year in and year out, you always say that, but they just don't, come through. Penn State is really a team that I look at and think that maybe they flip-flop with Ohio State, but Ohio State is the defending champ. I understand that. But,
Right.
I think Penn State is kind of one of those teams you can't sleep on. Georgia at 4, man, I don't know. That's kind of low for them. They've been at the top for a little bit, but they've lost some guys too. Notre Dame, I think, is deserving. They've really played well these past few seasons. A couple of teams that I thought would kind of be in that mix would be Alabama and/or LSU. They're supposed to be a lot better this year as well. But another team that I was kind of debating as well was the Golden Gophers. I'm just kidding. Oh, man, that would be interesting. But anyway, I don't really have that much problem with this these rankings. I mean, Texas, I liked what they did last year, but I don't know. I feel like people are going to be gunning for these guys, and they got to be ready, and hopefully Arch is ready to go for the Longhorns. But, and again, I hate to say it, but you can't sleep on the Buckeyes either. I mean, they're good. They've proven they can get it done. They did last year. So, I like this list. I think they did a good job with it. It's got my stamp of approval with this list. But it'll change. It will change very quickly, as we both know once the season gets going. So the Texas-Ohio State matchup will be interesting, and then a lot of teams in that top 10 will have some games as well. So we'll take a look at that and see how it all pans out. But yeah, stamp of approval. So Voldy, what do you think?
I mean, with the top 5, very interesting, the lack of respect that Oregon got at number 7. Not one single first-place vote out of it. Texas, yes, I understand. Ohio State defending champs. I don't know what it is about Penn State. Just does not rub me the right way being at number 3. Me being a bit of an asinine college football fan, Penn State's always a team's like, yeah, they're okay, but like they can't win the big one. Like, I don't know what it is. At some point, they find a way to trip and fall. James Franklin, great coach. Love James Franklin from his start, of course, at Vanderbilt, now up to, of course, now at Penn State. Just does not number 3, too high, way too high for me. I don't feel comfortable with Penn State being, I believe they were in the Big Ten championship game last year. Could be wrong. No, I think Oregon was in that because they were undefeated at that point and then ended up losing. Yeah. Right. So I can understand that. Notre Dame making it all the way to the, making it to the top 4 there with, the college football playoff and everything. I just don't. Penn State just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is about it. Sure, maybe down the stretch they'll be good and battling it out there, of course, in a very clustered Big Ten, of course, with, 2 in the top 5 and, now looking in the top 10, 3 in the top 10, if you want to throw Notre Dame in there, a semi-Big Ten team, of course, them being independent. I would honestly put Oregon in the top 5 as opposed to Penn State. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm an idiot, so what should I know? It should not be any different. I say absurd. I say absurd.
Okay.
Penn State just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. Just nothing really jumps out to me about them. So
we'll
see.
Yeah, like I said too. I mean, there's question marks every year. It's like, oh, this is the year they break through, and it's like, But I don't know. For some reason, I really like the way they. I mean, I know there are guys gone now from that team last year, but I really like the way they were playing in the playoff, though. But I mean that's probably the biggest question mark on the top 5 here. So, anywho, great job with ARA this week, Voldy, and you guys. We got Shield shoutouts. We have a very special Shield shoutout to get to. Tonight, obviously, if you've been tuning in to the socials medias, and obviously the Minnesota Vikings in regards to that, and a former Wild player as well. So let's get it going with some Shield shoutouts.
Shield Shoutouts.
All right, it is time for Shield Shoutouts. So, Shield, who ya shout out tonight?
Well, we do have to send a best of luck in retirement to former Minnesota Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr, as he officially announced his retirement from the NFL after 9 seasons. Of course, being drafted into the league by the Vikings. The man that single-handedly shattered Aaron Rodgers' collarbone with a hellacious sack in the early goings of US Bank Stadium. So big shout out to Anthony Barr for ending his career. Hopefully we'll see him around at training camp, or, at least get his piece in purple after a solid career in the NFL. And we do have to wish happy retirement former Wild and former Boston Bruins goaltender Anton Hudobin. Not a lot of people probably remember Dobby himself, but 14 seasons in the NHL. Of course, did have a few cups of coffee with the Minnesota Wild and the Boston Bruins. Spent a lot of time in his native country in Russia, but still carved out 14 seasons in the NHL as a goaltender. And that is going to do it for Shield Shoutouts this week.
Whoa. Nice. Well, a couple things. One, the Anthony Barr was just this, he was just this force on the Minnesota Vikings defense. I mean, this guy was all over the place, making the big hits. The Rodgers thing I think is funny because both of them went back and forth after that injury, which,
yes,
again, was a clean play. Come on.
It was.
It was a clean play. And all the people said, you fall like that, that's soft. What happens. Yeah.
Quit being soft.
Yeah, and the fun part about Anthony Barr, he's a really funny guy. I mean, he was probably my favorite Viking that was, interviewed by B-Rob on 96 Questions. I enjoyed a lot of his answers. He was so funny. With that. So if you ever want to check out some of those, check out Vikings YouTube or the app in general. Barr's got some pretty good ones there, and I'll never forget when I think it was his rookie year. We were playing the Bucks. We went into OT, and Anthony Barr, I think he ripped it out from when Glennon or whoever it was, and he took it back for a touchdown to win the game. And I remember Easy A. I was watching the game with the Easy A. And Easy A goes, Anthony Barr, bitch! Love some Anthony Barr. So congrats to him. Great job with Shield Shoutouts tonight. Voldy, very good. Especially congrats to Hudobin as well. Definitely know him from those Bruins and the Minnesota Wild as well. So, all right, Voldy, we got the Pick'em. You guys know the deal. Let us know if you want to join Pick'em again. It's free to play, guys. It really is. It's fun. You guys will have a great time. You just got to pick. That's all you got to do. Even if you don't love football, I've got people joining this Pick'em that don't really watch football, and they do great. They do fantastic. So make sure you get that taken care of, and there'll be prizes throughout the season and Minnesota bundle at the end of the year. So just keep that in mind. All right, keep it in mind. Anyway, speaking of merch, Voldy, we've got those hats. Let them know what we got. What do we got?
Ring. Of course, we do have a large selection available for you. Got that hunter orange for you. We've got the neon green. We've got, of course, the final MinneZona Adidas collab hat there. Just one left of those. Do have limited edition, only 5 of each colorway, 5th anniversary hats available for you to acquire. And, of course, the originals still very popular. The Digi Camo, as well as the American flag MinneZona bundle right there for you. Get them while they're still here. Again, it's $20, $5 shipping, and maybe you want to cut out the shipping. Maybe we'll meet up or something. I don't know. But either way, you're helping out a great cause. You're helping us out, and we've got great stuff still in the works, working on a few things, so definitely want to get these out to you because they look better on you than they do on me. There you go.
Well, that being said, too, we got the shorts. We got the shorts that are ready to be sent out to people who ordered them. If you're interested, we could always do another order. So let us know. We could get that going for you as well. Speaking of other merch, we've got the winter stuff that's coming up. Guys, fall is just around the corner, and I whether you like it, you don't like it, you're going to need sweatpants. You're going to need a winter cap when winter comes. You're going to need a tumbler. You're going to need stickers. You're going to need shirts. You're going to need all these things. Let us know. We can get those to you. And remember, you can still get it through the Pick'em as well. Or if you're just like, screw it, I want to help support the guys, we'll hook you up. Well, that being said, too, thank you to National Fleet Graphic. Thank you to Crown Rental, Tyler Knutson, who just had his birthday the other day. Shout out to Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats to him on another year. Happy birthday. And make sure you check out our guy, W2 Performance, Will Rattel at www.w2performance.com. He tried ginger recently and didn't go well. He spit it out. Yeah. I was going to comment something, Voldy, to the effects of, well, it wasn't red pepper or something like that. As a joke. I should have. But anyway, make sure you check out our guy. He's got awesome stuff going on with him. Make sure he's on social. He's on YouTube, the whole deal. Make sure you check out the Brotherly Ballers podcast. Tyler Herman, Jack Vickers, they'll be back here soon talking all things fantasy football, so make sure you check out their stuff. Make sure you check out TLS Performance, our guy, Troy Stoudemire Jr., killing it as usual over there in Texas. And make sure you check out the Popcorn Bucket List, PBL, Nick Dolph, and Rhino Meyerberg as well on the entertainment. Those guys are cooking up some great reviews, and shows are posted weekly, so make sure you check out those guys as well. That being said, Voldy, we've got the Vikings playing on Saturday. We're stoked. We're ready to see what JJ's got. We're ready to see what everyone else has got as well. Unfortunately, next week we are off. We will be off, unfortunately. I know. Something popped up. Got to do it. Whatnot. It's the whole kit and caboodle. So anyway, we will be back. We'll have more to talk about with the Minnesota Vikings, and that'll be starting up and getting closer to the regular season. And we'll keep you up to date on our socials medias and obviously the Instagram deal. So make sure you keep up to date with us on that. So that's going to do it for episode 248. And as always, remember, folks, keep yours up.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.